know that I left the 24-hour reading challenge on like kind of more of a skeptical note. I just like don't know how I feel about that. Just like a little like horror short story basically. This is the first book I have ever fully annotated like this. A little bit of a Barnes haul. Really wanted me to read Project Hail Mary because this is the one and only book that he read last year and he's very proud of it. I'm proud of him for reading it. But I didn't start this and I've been reading it fairly slow. Morning, guys. Actually, it's more like afternoon. It's probably like noon. Yeah, it's literally 1 o'clock. It's Monday, March 9th today, and it is a very gloomy day in Austin. This week, I'm gonna be filming a mood reading vlog with me. So basically, I'm just gonna be reading whatever I feel like reading this week. I did my 24-hour reading challenge early last week, and so I have picked up one book. No, I did finish Daggermouth. I know that I left the 24-hour reading challenge on like kind of more of a skeptical note of the review of that book, but I can tell you right now that the ending of that book was phenomenal. That book was written for the girls and I loved that aspect of that book. All the female main characters kind of like took control of the situation and I loved it. And I just really love that perspective from the author. You can tell that she's a person who loves women. I think that honestly, that ending really did bring the book much more positively into my mind and like my rating and stuff. It was definitely like closer to like a 4-star now. I was sitting definitely more towards like a 3-star, but because of that ending and because of the way the author was able to portray all of those things that happened, it gave it a lot more substance to me from where it was kind of at in my mind when we left the 24-hour reading challenge. So since then, I picked up My Friends by Frederick Bachman, and this is a much different type of story than that. And I've actually been reading this relatively slow for me because I can only read like 40 to 60 pages at a time because the whole time I'm crying my eyes out. I am just waterworks. This is the first book I have ever fully annotated like this, but I like actually have been annotating this book. I have never annotated a book. I've put like maybe 1 or 2 tabs in a book before, underlined a couple quotes here and there, but never like this. Like I'm telling you, this entire book is basically underlined. I don't even have words to describe this book. It's like reading a journal entry of somebody who's gone through mental illnesses and somehow Frederick Bachman can make it fiction and entertainment. He has this like incredible ability to write about kids and children and their perspectives and stuff, specifically like kids and adults relationships in his stories and how the kids have such an effect on the adults and stuff, like giving them a new perspective on life. And it is just so beautiful the way he does it. And he's so talented and like he brings so much tragedy and stuff into his stories and to like these characters pass like almost normalized, because it is normal in the world for these things to happen, but they just are things that aren't talked about and he's talking about them in his stories. And I just love that so much. He's just a really special author. And I've actually decided that I'm going to start collecting all of his hardbacks of all of his books. I don't care if I've read them or not. Like I'm just gonna be collecting all of his hardbacks because I know that this is gonna be an author that I want to reread and reread. Those are my feelings so far on this book. It's insane. It's so good. I'm gonna just taking my sweet time with this, and I am right about halfway through right now. page 235, and it's like 430 pages, I think. So I'll probably finish this, if not tomorrow, like the day after tomorrow. Yeah, so that is so far what I'm reading, and I have the rest of my February TBR and then my March TBR that I would like to pull from. It's a dreary day, so I don't plan on going to the gym or anything. I really don't need to do anything. So I actually I told myself that in my 30s, it's completely unrelated, but I told myself that in my 30s, I'm gonna be good at painting. I'm gonna get good at painting because I used to be really into like drawing and stuff. Like I used to draw all the time growing up, and my favorite thing to draw was horses and like landscapes and stuff. I'm not saying I was good, but it just like brought me peace and I really enjoyed it. And so I have been always really in love with art, and recently in my like adult years I've really loved like artwork. Obviously I have artwork all on here, and like painting specifically. And so I told myself I wanted to get good at painting, and specifically water painting or watercolor painting. But I'm really just like messing around and kind of getting a feel for watercolor, because watercolor is actually like pretty difficult. I was not really expecting it to be that difficult, but it's very much like a theory-based thing. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of watercolor, and then I also have been trying out some like acrylic and stuff. But yeah, this week I have really nothing planned. I work Friday and Saturday, so I have the rest of the week to just edit and do whatever my heart desires. So lots of reading. So yeah, I see you guys in the next clip. Morning. Well, it's afternoon again, actually. It is a couple days later, actually. It's Wednesday and it's about noon. I finished My Friends, and I wanted to give you guys a little update. I did run to Half Price Books the other day. I can't remember if I mentioned that or not, but I did. And I was really looking for more Frederick Bachman books, and then also wanted to find some painting books. And I forgot that our location is actually moving locations, and like they only had half of their supplies, like half their books were actually in boxes. So they didn't really have a whole lot of selection, but I did end up finding 4 watercolor books, and I am really, really excited to try these out. I finished My Friends, and it's still, you know, annotated. Definitely added a lot more to this, and I feel like my brain chemistry has been changed by this book. I just adored it. I think this is one of my favorites by him so far. This one and Anxious People are like some of my 2 favorite books that I feel like I've ever read. And I just think it's because of the ability to connect with the characters so much, and just the rawness of how he portrays human beings and relationships and stuff. It's just incredible. I really have nothing else to say about it except that it is an Infinity Star book. I'm gonna reread it probably a million times, and I just absolutely loved it. And I think I want to read A Man Called Ove next, maybe. I don't know why, but that just keeps popping into my head. So I think I might try and pick that one up. But I did start, I don't have it with me, but I did start Gild. Let me go grab it. I started Gild this morning. I wasn't sure what I wanted to read, so I ended up just picking it up because I'm gonna have to read it anyways, because this was the pick from our TBR jar. That was like the longest book that's been on my TBR jar. So I am, I guess, almost halfway through at this point. It's a pretty short book. Yeah, I'm 130 pages, chapter 16. So that's like about halfway through this book so far, and I think I might have, if I include that clip in here or not, I don't know if I will, but basically I got to a point like page 75-ish, and you're learning about our main female main character, Arian. I am on page 83 of Gild. And is there underage relationships? I just got to the point where learning about our female main character's history with King Midas and realizing that she met him when she was 15 years old. And it doesn't say how old he was, but she was 15 years old and he clearly saved her, and sounds like he was kind of taking advantage of her a little bit, and she's kind of being groomed to like believe that he's her savior. And I really don't know how I feel about that. I really like our female main character's personality. She's really fun. She's kind of quippy, and seems like everything's gonna stay kind of interesting with her, and her character is very interesting, and the story is definitely very unique, something I've never read before. It is Arn. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. I think I'm gonna finish the book because I'm already like almost done with it, but I don't know if I'm gonna continue the series. I might have to like sit on it for a little while and see, and kind of just like wait after I finish it and just see if that's something that I would decide I want to do. But just so you know, if that's something that you weren't aware of, that is something that appears in this book. So yeah, I'm gonna finish that book probably today or tomorrow, honestly, and then pick the next read. I still have no idea like what I want to read after that. I have Riftborn and Dustbound that I could totally pick up, but I also have Dawn of the North, which everybody knows I've been pushing that off for months, so maybe I should just pick that up. And I also have the rest of Emily Wilds. I still need to finish that book, so I have a lot of options. I think Hachi and I are just gonna have a day because he actually hurt his little leg, or hurt his back this week, so we're trying to take it easy. So he needs a little TLC today, I think. Somebody commented that they can't get enough of him in this chair, and me too, girl. I can't get enough of just seeing him in this chair. He just loves it so much. Oh, I almost forgot. I have to show you guys our new Facebook Market purchase. We got this beautiful table from Facebook Marketplace. This is an Ethan Allen table, so it's real wood, and then these chairs are just absolutely stunning chairs. And it definitely has like obviously a lot of wear and stuff, but because it's solid wood, it's easy. Whenever I decide to, we can just sand it down and restain it super easily. But yeah, I'm obsessed, like so obsessed with this table, and I need to figure out what to do with like this wall back here. I kind of am thinking of putting like a little mini corner shelf maybe right there with a hanging plant or a picture, or just like put like 2 pictures right here. I don't know, but somehow like tie in the rest of this corner because we had to like scoot everything over a little bit. I think today I'm going to maybe do my like weekly stop at the thrift store and then just hang out with Hachi, I think, today. So I'll keep you guys updated on how I feel about Gild the further we get into it. It is the next day. So I did finish Gild, and to my surprise, I actually really enjoyed this book. Like, I really enjoyed this book. I would not mind picking up the next one soon. I think my issue earlier, I think I'm understanding like why the author felt the need or wanted to include that in this book. I just really feel like this is a build up to like a really, really good series. Like this has the potential of expanding into like a pretty incredible series if it's done right. And I know that there's like 6 books or something in this series, maybe more. So that makes me excited because if it is good, then I could totally see this being like a new favorite of mine. And then I want to pick up another book this morning. So I'm thinking I'm going to start Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I have been wanting to read this book for a very, very long time, and I finally purchased it, I think when we were in New York City. And it's short, it's like 100 pages, the words are big. I feel like this is going to be an easy book to kind of just like digest pretty quickly. And so I think I'm going to start this, maybe finish it this morning. And then I work tomorrow and the next day, Friday, Saturday, so I don't really have any plans today except just kind of like get my life together before that. And so I foresee having a lot of time to read today. So I think I'm going to finish this hopefully today. And then I also wanted to show you, because I did get some book mail yesterday. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, actually. I guess this is story time. Well, here's the book mail. I went ahead and I ordered The Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wang. I got this through Amazon. This is an indie published copy. I really thought that she had this book published by like publishing company, just because she's the author of Blood Over Bright Haven, which this was like one of my favorite books last year. Like, one of my all-time favorite books. I absolutely loved this so much. She self-published this one after this one, so I really thought that they would have picked this one up too, but I don't know, maybe that's in the works, I have no idea. I definitely will be reading this year. I'm just not sure when, but I'm very excited to own this book. I have like huge hopes for that. And then I got 2 more books. I did indeed go to Barnes & Noble yesterday because last time I went to Barnes I had a weird experience. I just felt like a little uncomfortable. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I just felt uncomfortable, and I was at my home Barnes, which is kind of sad. So I ended up going to a new Barnes to try out, and I picked up 2 books. So this one, actually, this is called The Poet Empress. I can't speak this morning. The Poet Empress by Xin, I think that's Xin Tao. This actually I was recommended because it's so similar to Blood Over Bright Haven and Slewfoot combined. Like both of those books are like 2 of my top books from last year, and so to have those combined into one book, I'm just like incredibly hopeful for this one. I really hope that this is good. Super pretty, and then there's like these really gorgeous like bronze sprayed edges, and then the end papers are also like really gorgeous. But this cover, actually, I had it in my car yesterday and the sun was shining on it. You might not be able to tell, but it's like sparkles like Edward the vampire. So anyway, so this is The Poet Empress. This, I believe, is a newer release. Somebody told me it's like Blood Over Bright Haven and Slewfoot, so I kind of just had to pick it up. And I'm really excited. I think it's a standalone, but I actually have no idea. But I'm not really going to read anything about this because I want to go in totally blind. Like, I don't want to know anything about this book at all when I go into it. And then the next book that I got is The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. It just looks really intriguing to me, and the description also sounds very intriguing. Oh, that's pretty. So this is a high fantasy, is a debut novel, I think, and I've just seen raving reviews about this for a little while now. And the front of it says power as a hungry beast, and T. Fisher blurbed this, which is kind of crazy. It says charming, haunting, ambitious, and a great deal of fun. A devastating love story, a bewitching twist on history, a blood-drenched hunt for purpose, power, and redemption. So yeah, it just sounds really good, and I think this is the start of a series. It's been sitting in my Amazon cart for a while now, so I went ahead and just picked that up when I saw it in store. A little bit of a Barnes haul, and I think I'm going to just sit down and read for a little bit longer. It's really still only, I don't have my phone, but it's only like 8 o'clock in the morning, so I have like another hour before I want to start getting some work done. I have been doing an absolutely terrible job updating you guys on my reading this week. And boy, do we have some updates. I have actually read Metamorphosis. I read and finished this that same day. I think that I had updated you. And this is a very short book. I don't even think it was 100 pages. It was very, very short and easy to get through. Just like a little like horror short story basically. And I mean, it kind of just like was what it was. I didn't really have any crazy thoughts or anything on it. I know it's mainly a story that's supposed to just kind of like make you think and like appreciate the little things in life and like kind of just look at the way that he was treated by his family and everybody around him because he was different. I'm pretty sure that's kind of like what you're supposed to be getting from this. So I'm glad I read it. It's just about what I expected. So really nothing super crazy there. So I did read this. Then after that, I did actually start Dawn of the North. I picked this up. Today is what? Today is actually Wednesday, the following week. So it's been about a week since we started this video and I had 2 pretty hellish days at work. So I worked Friday, Saturday, and then on Sunday, I just like absolutely crashed on the couch. I just hung out with my husband. We did a bunch of just like random stuff and had a chill day because I was beat out from work. But I did start this and I've been reading it fairly slow. And I am about 200 pages in so far, and I think that's like almost 40%, 30%, something like that. I feel like not a whole lot has happened, and we just got our first like action scene. It has been feeling kind of like a lot of recap and stuff, and I'm having to remember a lot of the people's names and characters and like the little fine details and stuff from what happened the last 2 books. So I'm kind of sad because I wish I could have just like dived right into this and been like super happy to be back in the world. And I am very happy to be back in the world. Like I'm loving the characters' chemistry and stuff still. I just feel like it's slow going. I think it's going to pick up, or at least I hope it picks up a little bit more because I just have been kind of dragging my feet reading this, unfortunately. But like I said, I am still really enjoying like being back in the world and with the characters and stuff. So I'm hoping that more things start to pick up. But I do feel like this might be one of those like middle series books that you're just kind of like building on the plot and you're learning a lot of new information and stuff. And that might just be what it is. So I will update you guys whenever I do finish this, eventually, whenever that is. But in the meantime, my husband actually really wanted me to read Project Hail Mary because this is the one and only book that he read last year and he's very proud of it. I'm proud of him for reading it. And everybody knows a movie's coming out actually this weekend. So he really wanted me to read this so that we could talk about it and watch the movie together and be cute like that. And so I did start and finish this within like 24 hours. So I did read this book and I had zero intention really of reading this like really ever because I'm not really a sci-fi person. I actually kind of like dislike sci-fi. It's just not really the place that I want to escape to, if that makes sense. So, hey boy. So yeah, I did read Project Hail Mary and I did really, really like it. I had a great time. It was really cute. It was really funny. I didn't really expect it to be funny, but it was, and I can totally see why they would cast Ryan Gosling for the male character because it just fits. It makes so much sense. So I'm excited to see the movie and kind of like compare it and see how well they do. And yeah, I'm glad that me and my husband get to like have a little cute moment there and like talk about our books and stuff. He's not really a reader, so for him to pick up and read a book last year was a big deal. I'm very proud of him. So yeah, these are some of the books that I read this week. We did end up going to an old vintage store in one of these like small downtowns near Austin, and it was really, really cool. I found a couple things and we just had like a really good weekend. So I am gonna go ahead and finish off the vlog here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have been having a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video next Saturday. Bye guys.